Matt's broken up. Yo, hey guys. Hey. Oh man, you're gonna recognize this guy. It's Matt Sena again, by request, by me, and other people that love the video so much. So Matt, how are you, bro, man?
I'm good. I'm honored. You know, this has been really fun. And you've given me so many opportunities. I've been able to ramble.
No, we got to. I feel like you're on the forefront and the precipice of something awesome. You're actually doing things that I'm not. So, I mean, we are on a clean slate, but you're doing a urine therapy. So we're going to get into that. But before we do, man, like you sent me the link today. I knew you was a musician, and I saw that I knew you had the P song. I didn't know you had an old album, so I bought it straight away. Would you honor us with a song from the album or something new for us? Just start us off.
I'd love to. Let's see. Echo. Okay. All right. Great.
Yep, your connection's good. Mine's shit, but that's good.
Thanks, Harry. This is very sweet. Yeah, the album's on the store. Check out the store for the products we're talking about. The best ones, my affiliate links, full disclosure.
Yep.
But this affiliate business is no small thing. Like, you're making serious money now through Root, aren't you?
Well, yeah, you can. 10, 15%, 20%. We should be rewarded, by the way, for getting people on the most powerful therapies. And we'll touch base with that. It's fucking amazing. By the way, back to the music. I downloaded it onto an MP3 player. I listened to it all through as soon as I bought it. And it's really cool, man. I love your music. And we'll talk a little bit afterwards about your... But yeah, play away, man.
Very nice. I appreciate you saying that. And listening. Shit. I wrote this 6 years ago. Which is actually pretty funny, given it a certain lyric. It was in a totally different place. You know, I've really been on the health journey for only like the past, like really hard, like past year or maybe 2 years at most. So yeah, this is called If You Saw Me. Cool. Thought I didn't have to say it, so I wasn't very clear. Some things were passed round a warm round room. I think they may have disappeared. But if you saw me 6 years ago in those quiet arms of Miss Clara Bow, you would let me go on this way. I get looser, baby, every day with you. Well, the kid just hit the pile, and the man ain't getting by. It's a little like our first kiss. Figured it was best to try. But if you saw me 1 year ago, my nose was hitting floors and pushing up radios. Oh, won't you let me go on this way? I get looser, baby, every day with you. Well, now I'm tired after breakfast. You know how I lose my place. But you were never across the street. Now I'm always in your face. But if you saw me 10 minutes ago, you'd be out the door, and rightfully so. Oh, won't you let me go on this way? I get looser, baby, every other day with you.
Woo! That was awesome, man. Thanks. I love the vibes. That was so cool. Is that an original that's not on your album? Because I love the album, by the way. Yeah,
you know, I think it just, I sing it different now. But yeah, it's like the third or fourth song down, yeah.
Oh, I do love it, man. Yeah, it's such an amazing album, guys. I think you should get it. Like, I'm blown away by your talents. Quickly, I know it's not on the health thing, but you was a music major, weren't you? You've done that stuff. And why'd you give it up, bro? Because, I mean, you're good at it. I mean, people will question maybe, like, what was the reasoning behind?
Yeah, I was a music and theater major at the University of Michigan. And I'm still in New York City, and I still have an agent.
Do you?
But yeah. So you know, I haven't given it up. I'm just so obsessed with the health practices. But the one thing that I learned is that, you know, if I want to keep going in a stressful business, I have to totally care about my health. But then also, I can't improve as an artist without improving my health. At least for me, because like I had like enough energetic blockages, enough mental crap that I didn't improve the way I wanted to in college, and that really, you know, scared me. And like, what's wrong with me? You know, was like a real question in my mind. Like, I'm not improving. I have great teachers, plenty of practice time.
Yeah.
I seem to have some blockages, and that's a big part of what got me on the healing journey.
Yeah.
Was being able to have a major, like have the luxury of having a
Mm,
major in college where I could work on my body formally and get in touch with myself.
mm.
So at the very least, very least, that was extremely valuable.
Yeah.
In the major, but I'm still doing it.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that. So that's cool. And
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. There's a lot of with mastery of that instrument and the music, it definitely does help, man. The definitely raises the vibration, takes the practice to a whole new level. Just the health protocols. I've noticed that with playing the ukulele, like it really does. So that's
Yeah.
why I like it so much. Your music, maybe it would have been good before. Don't get me wrong, but the levels are insane now with that.
Well, like maybe almost more our own enjoyment like
Mm,
improves. This is just my experience, but like you know
yeah.
I'm sure that I enjoy doing the art more. I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate, but I'm really enjoy doing the art more now that like my body is so much more interesting to consciously inhabit. It's,
I love
it
that you live in
just,
your body and it's amazing. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty gritty then, because people have seen us before, and we really want to focus on. We're going to go all over the place, me and you. We know what we're like, but let's focus on the controversy between this, which we both agree is just fucking phenomenal, and I'm really glad that we're on it, and we just want more people on it. But here's the thing, Matt. Like, so the criticism of this is we do know that heavy metals are pulled out. Some of them, I don't know, primary. What's your opinion on it? But some of them definitely are pulled out into the urine. And then you're doing the urine therapy, the fresh urine, which I'm not at the moment after this. So, and you're still getting loads of results and feeling amazing on it, doing both, which is controversial. So, can you explain a little bit of what you, because you're a guinea pig for us, what's going on?
yeah. So I get the feedback. Okay. I don't know what's happening scientifically, but I'm doing this. I'm looping my urine. I'm putting a lot, like using a lot in enema form. So I'm not drinking all of it,
Right.
but I drink a large amount, and I don't drink less than I did prior to taking Clean Slate.
Mm.
Uh, and I feel better than fine. I feel like really good, and maybe
Yeah.
even better because I have Clean Slate in the looping process. Like that's my
Yes.
honest felt experience with it.
Yeah.
And
Which doesn't
I,
make any sense if which
it
doesn't
doesn't.
make any sense with the heavy metals, which are the worst thing, which I do agree are the worst things that are coming out in the glyphosate. It's coming out in the urine, and then you're retaking it. Logically, it doesn't. So can you explain why you, I love your theory. It's just, let's go in there, like, why do you feel better? Because I do believe in your, just as I believe as much as mine. Actually, you're one of the few people I trust the body vibration feel. When you say something's legit, I know it, like just as I know me. So that's true. So because you're that, what would you know? Do you have a little theory behind why that would be? Like, you
Well,
feel
I'm
better?
glad
Mm.
every time I start talking, speaker. I'm glad that we went over this discussion a bit in the community, and people brought up some objections, because there's one thing I want to say right away. Of course, feeling good, for me, when I say that I feel fine or good doing this or even better, I don't just mean like all butterflies and rainbows and bliss. Like I mean deep body connection. I'm feeling the stuff that I have not felt before because of chemical blockage, that's being cleared out by either the energetic, information in the urine or the clean slate. Like the blockages are clearing, that process. That's what I mean by feeling good. I mean,
Yeah,
for goodness sake, like everybody's healing like crazy if they're on this path. It's like it's obviously basically a difficult process fundamentally. So I'm not ignoring that, but I want to say it's a positive experience. That's a more accurate way to say it.
yeah.
Now to more directly answer your question.
And quickly, just before you do, I feel like we need to merge the root community, the clean slate, with the urine therapy, the free with a page, because we're in the middle of doing both. And I think that's why I really want to get information out of you versus the root family don't do urine therapy. They just believe in, and then the urine therapies are so anti paying for stuff in clean slate. So that's why we need to explain
Yeah,
this.
I think I want to give you, more and more context here before I go into a hypothesis, which I have no proof for, but like this is what I'm talking about, I'm sure of, which because it's just my experience. Um, uh, I was like, oh crap, I really love urine therapy,
Yeah,
and I really love clean slate.
yeah,
So that, to be perfectly honest, I was coming from this like I don't want that to be the case,
yeah.
so that's a huge bias.
Mm,
Before I tested it, I had a desire for an outcome, which is totally biased,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
genuine. I can't avoid that. I was doing urine therapy and I loved it. I knew the power of chelation because I had kind of hurt myself doing DIY chelation. I was like, okay, if you can get a handle on this, this is probably powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, basically I felt some stuff clear, but it felt horrible in the process. Just little EDTA suppositories.
All right.
So I'd done enough of that to be interested, and there's like no other way to clear heavy metals. So it's like I was desperate for this product, and it came at the right time, which is amazing. So it's just like all stars aligned for urine therapy and all stars aligned for Cleanslate.
Yeah.
And I was like,
to be a pioneer that does both, the fresh urine and just to be the guinea pig. So that must have been gutting, like when you first heard urine and you couldn't do them together. But after the gutting, you thought, fuck it, I'm going to try anyway.
Yeah, because I noticed that basically exactly after I was like, ah, shit, gutting. I was like, I'm going to try it anyway. But I noticed that there was this real genuine desire from the urine therapist to convey the magical, like this works beyond our level of ability to describe it, like explanation that was coming from everybody who was talking about urine therapy. And that isn't just because there's a lack of explanation in urine therapy. Like that's a feature. Like urine therapy is miraculous. So I had that in my mind, and that really helped me have the guts to give it a try. And yeah, to me, it's like it alchemizes that crap in the piss and turns it into like something that helps the process actually. Like I'm not going to claim it's just okay. I'm saying it's better.
Well, yeah, both of them better together than just one. Both of them fire up your systems, vibrate you higher from your own experience, because you do have a theory, but it's beyond the theory now. You theorized, which you're going to go into in a bit, hopefully. You theorized after you felt good doing both. That's clear to people. You didn't make the theory and then go, oh, and didn't imagine feeling better. You felt better because you were doing both, which must have been really exciting for you. That must have been so exciting, because I don't know anyone apart from you, I literally don't know anyone that's doing both that's going up and noticing it. So that's brilliant, and I do believe you. So.
I'm very happy to be the guinea pig, and I'm very cautiously recommending this because I'd rather wait a while to start recommending it. Like I've been doing this 6 months and really hard for like 3 or 4, but like really hard for 3 or 4, and like that's where I'm coming from in my what I'm talking about here. But like why not give it a year and I'm not dead, right? Like because if all the stuff that's coming out in the urine, which is a decent amount,
according to heavy metals, really bad stuff.
If that's all poisoning me, then I'd like be
then you really should be dead. I mean, that's the argument, by the way, that they said for urine, like all the waste. But now you're really pulling out a lot of waste with the Cleanslate into the urine, far more than if it was just urine therapy anyway. Extreme amounts. We know the chelation power, me and you, of Cleanslate, is a joke. I mean, even dare I say, drop more powerful chelation power than aged urine, which I love so much. And even the other Matt Hazen will agree with me. The aged urine chelation power isn't as powerful as Cleanslate. So if what you're saying is true, you should be dead, and that's a really good point. Like you should be dying now from real toxins which you're re-ingesting in the urine.
I actually should be dead if it's totally depositing that stuff.
Yes, or at the very least, you should be a lot going downhill fast, which is
it should
the
be
opposite.
Directly proportional to the power of Cleanslate. How fast I'm dying.
Yes.
And with everybody talking about how good Cleanslate is and how I'm not dying, this brings up a very excellent investigation.
And before you go into your theory, I just thought of something out loud. That so just I'll hit you with this idea then. So the chelation powered heavy metals is coming into the urine, which you're re-looping, but the heavy metals were being pulled from the Cleanslate from deep within the body, not in the bloodstream. They're pulling out to the bloodstream, so you're re-ingesting it, the waters of the urine, the fresh urine, which have the heavy metals in it, but the parts of the water with the heavy metals aren't going and latching on for whatever reason into the deep recesses of the body. They're staying in the bloodstream, whereas the other parts of the fresh urine maybe go deeper. I don't know. Did you hear that?
Yeah. I'm not going to disagree with that. I kind of want to bring up a slightly different tack on it.
Sure.
what we really feel when we detox is what's actively moving through the bloodstream, actively exiting because it's been mobilized into the bloodstream,
Yeah.
out from our bones and tissues. It's now floating around free in the bloodstream, and it comes out in our mostly stool and sweat and breath, if you ask me, but also in the urine. In the specific case of Clean Slate, I think it comes out more in the urine because it's bound to a mineral. And the kidneys clearly prioritize mineral processing, and that's a lot what they're about, is keeping the mineral levels proper in the blood. And you know, that's why I like have no desire for salt anymore, is because I do urine therapy, because my mineral levels are just fire.
Right.
Yeah. So it looks like a salt to the kidneys. That's one big point. That's actually the core of my hypothesis of why I'm not dying, is because the kidneys register it as a normal salt. That's why it comes out so prolifically in the urine, and it doesn't get diverted down the normal detox pathways, which in my very strong opinion and others is the colon primarily, like by far, and then sweat. So you see how that relates to the stuff that when we feel sick, when we detox, that's because the poisonous stuff is actively in the bloodstream. And so that relates to your point, which was like, when we drink it, it goes right into the bloodstream. Why do I feel good? I feel good when I drink my urine.
Yeah, me too, man.
Still crazy to say out loud. And I really appreciate your support in that. It's meant a lot. Everybody else in the community. Man, it just sucks because I have such a love for both communities. That's the thing. And like, so there was that like, oh crap moment. I'm not going to be able to merge these for myself and for other people. And basically, honestly, guys, the love I have for both communities and both methods was like what got me brave enough to try this. Because I just didn't want to be in a reality where I couldn't do both.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm trying to focus, but at the same time, I didn't think of this. The storage is running out on this, so I'm just deleting things whilst you're talking. So yes, sorry about that, man. Just give me 2 seconds. You can carry on, like what you're saying. I can't focus two things at once, but yeah, you carry on. Yeah.
I think I'm actually pretty proud of myself. I think I said everything except this one thing. All the health stuff I do, I start with a mindset of I want this to work. Otherwise, I wouldn't have freaking heard about or be interested in doing the health practice.
Yeah.
Like it's like not, it's my life, it's not a separate from my life science experiment. So it's not going to have perfect controls.
Especially as you're the test dummy. So can we go back a little bit and say that? So your theory, I like this. Your theory that the mineral, because cliniciplite, which is natural product in the Clean Slate, comes to the kidneys, and we know it's a honeycomb structure. So the heavy metals go inside it, but are hidden, I believe, and that's actually correct. We know this. It's hidden. So it's hidden, and so the kidneys go and analyze it and say, oh, there's a mineral, and it doesn't see the heavy metals in it. So the kidneys go, okay, out in the urine, extra mineral. This mineral is not needed to be reabsorbed. The cliniciplite with all the heavy metals comes out in the urine, and therefore it comes out. And that's one argument I love about it. Urine not being a waste product. It's a mineral and then you re-ingest it. So here's where it gets complicated, and I'd love your opinion. So you re-ingest the cliniciplite, basically, that's got the heavy metals in it. Why is that not causing? Because it's not, I don't think, from your experience. Because like you said, if the heavy metals are in the bloodstream, is it because the cliniciplite is attached to continually, even when you re-ingest it? The entire journey of the cliniciplite, as you take it, comes out with the heavy metals and you re-ingest it. In other words, the heavy metals is never in the bloodstream fully. It's always in a cage structure in the cliniciplite, constantly as you loop. Does that make any sense? Is that our theory here? It's
absolutely. Yes. Because if there was a releasing of the heavy metals, let's say as it's leaving, then I don't think it would come out so prolifically through the kidneys. I think the kidneys would divert it to the colon and the bile, which is where these toxins need to go to be safely bound and processed through fat, which is like bile is like an oily thing that processes toxins, because that helps bind and control toxicity. So we're talking about like, the most poisonous substances in our body, these heavy metals. The body's going to send that right to the colon if it's a free floating mercury. If it's free floating,
it goes to the colon, unless it's wrapped in a mineral. which is renders it, because this mineral renders the heavy metals completely neutral. I don't know how to describe it. It's like having a monster hidden behind a curtain, and the monster no longer exists and can't scare the child, because the child can't see past the curtain to the monster behind. The monster's always there, but it's completely nullified. I'm thinking Monsters Inc. or some kind of analogy that people can understand. So therefore, when you're re-ingesting the urine constantly, maybe the heavy metals are always, the cleanslate is always there, and the honeycomb structure always there. So the heavy metals never get released into the bloodstream freely to cause havoc. It completely nullifies them. So therefore, if you reloop every time, maybe, Matt, it's just not doing any damage, because as long as that cleanslate maintains the honeycomb, which it does, you're good. Perfect.
So I think that's correct because of the results I'm getting, not because of theory. I'm healing. So and yes, it's just like that. It holds on tightly enough to where, it doesn't re-release. And if it did re-release, I would get symptoms really bad, in my opinion.
Yes.
Because remember, I know what it's like to have free floating, movement of heavy metals in my bloodstream from like the iffy chelation therapy I was doing. And it's not like that at all.
Interesting. Yes, you know what it feels like to have chelation when it's all in the bloodstream, that kind of toxicity effect, and you're not getting that from re-ingesting the Cleanslate, which is definitely putting the heavy metals out. Here's an argument against it, maybe. Maybe they'll say, as to play devil's advocate, you've already removed all the heavy metals, the major ones, so that's why, maybe? I don't know. You've already done all the work. No, you haven't. Okay, challenge me. I like that. Yep. Cool.
We're so toxic, dude. Right. I live next to the George Washington Bridge in Washington Heights.
Yeah.
It's a constant traffic flow, man. I grew up next to a Chevron refinery and LAX. Beautiful town. But like, come on. Like, it's all in our air everywhere, not just me. This is what the root brand is so great about, telling us slowly, gently, and scientifically how fucking poisoned we are, man. Like, it's unbelievable. So I would just point to environmental toxicology studies to go like, it ain't because I'm clean. And there's one point that you said earlier, and this is another reason why I'm excited. Because I want people to understand like why I'm excited, because it's hard to trust somebody who's overly excited. But like, we got really cool results here where it's like something that should be poisoning me is actually helping. Nice and counterintuitive like that, which is exciting. But also, you said this already. The kidneys are pushing out the clinoptilolite, which we can bound stuff, which we can see just in the urine analysis. And it's a lot. That can prove the and the reason why we think that's happening, you and me, is because the kidneys are recognizing the solution of clinoptilolite and heavy metals. Let's say just heavy metals, but there's a lot of other stuff in the clinoptilolite. The kidneys are recognizing that just as the clinoptilolite. That's why it's coming out in the urine. Correct.
Because if it was just heavy metals, free heavy metals in the bloodstream, without the clinoptilolite to attach to, I guess it would, like you said, dump into the colon or the liver straight away.
Yeah, or the skin.
Or the skin.
We see a lot of heavy metals come out of the skin and
under the tongue or the breath. Yeah. For example.
And this is actually this speaks to the safety of urine therapy in general, because as opposed to what it appears like, which the stuff comes out in the urine, that means that toxins come out in the urine. No. It looks like an average, harmless, actually probably beneficial, because it is very beneficial to the body. It's very negatively charged. Everything negatively charged is usually a good thing in the body. Like, that's not an overstatement. And the body, it seems to us that it grokks that combo as just the clino, which actually speaks to the the safety of urine therapy. Because it's coming out of the urine.
I agree. By the way, on that, with the polarization, I feel like Cleanslate is the nature, and it's the pure Cleanslate which they cleanse, but then they magnify and polarize it. That's the most exciting, the fragmentation, first of all, from big pieces into smaller pieces, but not nano, and then the polarization. So in other words, I think, Matt, is what they do is they make it extremely more powerful than even, because people think, they've heard of, for example, that guy, Fabian, that had a go at you and me, who knows a lot. But he was like, normal. First of all, he was talking about Cleanslate powder, but even if he wasn't talking about Cleanslate powder, he doesn't understand this process has been polarized. It's made more polarized than already its negative charge. This could be a reason why, for example, Karen, who I interviewed recently, got a clearing of her shoulder pain forever from just one drop of this extremely polarized by nature, but also magnified. So it's polarized. There's some kind of proprietary process that they like to say, and you say, that blows our mind.
Yeah, you know, it's the thought ends up being here that Cleanslate is totally unique and there's nothing else like it. But that is the thought that I agree with. I think Fabian's correct. There's clinoctillite powder that has bound to heavy metals that can then be released into the blood, because we're talking about large particle sizes that are found in nature that, you know, were mined from a not perfectly pure site. There's not many that are like over 90% clinoctillite.
Right.
And they're part of a family that includes the type of crystal, a zeolite, is part of a family that includes like poisonous stuff like arsenic. And then in nature, the idea is that like volcanoes and various toxic sites spew a lot of toxic stuff from the earth, like especially heavy metals. And then there's this co-occurrence in nature of the thing that binds it. So actually, we should be seeing a lot of dirty clinoctillite in nature, because that's what it's meant to do, bind to the crap.
Yes.
You know? So you gotta
cleanse
have
it.
a process to freaking clean it. You know, there's a lot of companies that get bulk powder that I'm sure is from a clean enough site, you know, that where you're not gonna die, like you're not gonna die right away. But basically, I wouldn't trust it unless they engineered it really. Like that's where I'm at.
Unless they cleansed it. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to zeroing, because this is going to be a long one, and we love long ones, but I know what we like. So the zeroing one, oh man, I'm blown away by this. I get relearn this one all the time, and I come back to my mind right now how you saying how amazing it was at the beginning when I hadn't taken it, and I took 4 this morning, and I'm already kind of happy, but it just takes me to a new level of serotonin, dopamine dump that's ridiculous. When I take more than one, I must admit, I take 3 or 4 in one go. I don't want to mess about, but it's different it's like psychedelics, but different. I can actually do work with it. When I'm on it, I feel mega happy, mega motivated. Maybe it's the dopamine, but also my reaction speeds go all over the place. I'm like, I can do 20 things at once on the computer. Like message this person, like it's amazing. So yeah, what's your experiences with zeroing? I know you love it, man. Like,
that has to be an experience. What you're describing is a homeostatic or homeostasis thing, because you're not overwhelmed and like out of it. You're focused and you're able to balance your tasks. I don't think that happens with artificial stimulation, period. I think what you have to do to get to that natural homeostatic but really neurotransmitter firing condition is you have to stimulate your own production of these neurotransmitters, which is exactly what Zero In does. It provides a bit of the fuel, which is different than what coffee does or alcohol does, which is it sort of stresses the body and like dumps the neurotransmitter into the system. Either by like stressing it in order to put it into like a fight or flight mode where that gets dumped naturally. So it gets a little slippery here, because there like are ways that we force the body to produce this stuff, and that's not good. So even though that's endogenous, which is your body making it, it still can be bad. So I'm not saying if it's endogenous, it's good. We can like force that production. But what Zero In does is it provides the fuel and naturally stimulate isn't even the right word. What it's very much like in my experience is it tells my body you have the resources to do what you want with your neurotransmitters.
Nice.
I want to say that very clearly. And then say it feels like it gives me back. It's not putting on a facade of artificial anything. It's giving me my gut-brain connection back, man. It's full body. It's not just up here too.
Yeah, I sleep really good when I take it in the morning. Even with the caffeine, which is dehydrated caffeine, by the way, so I do think there's a difference there. But yeah, I sleep really good, and it's such a high, and it is mildly psychedelic because the velvet bean, not majorly to worry people, mildly because of the velvet bean powder. We found out the velvet bean powder is majorly spikes dopamine, but of course the caffeine stops it. But it's got DMT in it a little bit, traces in the velvet bean.
Well, because it's supporting our own body, you know, maybe there's a little bit of DMT that gets produced by our body. You think there's actually DMT like straight up in that velvet sea?
Oh, there is. There is as well. I mean, yes, there actually is.
That is
Someone
so
Patchy sent a link to the group once, and I was reading it. And it's like a little bit of 5-MeO DMT, a little bit of DMT, little bits, not lots, but yeah, there is actually.
I'm sure people know the entourage effect of, why you want all your cannabinoids with marijuana and not just straight THC, and how different those like isolated THC pens are from an actual plant. So that's what's going on with all the ingredients in root, is you get whole natural ingredients with all their friends.
Yes,
it's meant to be that way. Yeah,
with complete synergy, because it's not just the ingredients. Like the others, you look at the ingredients and you're like, oh, that's not going to give me the effects that in the Urine, for example, those 7 ingredients in it don't seem to wow us. They are powerful, but it doesn't seem to give you the results that actually. It's the synergy and genius of Christina, I feel, with years and years of fucking biotech and all the smart shit that you will never understand to make it one of the greatest. So to my mind, this is what I said this morning. Like, I don't know, like I messed about with supplements, not as much as you, Matt, but I'd say for me, so far, my journey with supplements, I say number 1, number 2, most value for money, but with most profound results. Cleanslate number 1, Urine number 2. That's what I feel.
Yeah, it's not just a high. Like, how I can't say that enough. Like, it has so it's a support for a poisoned and damaged system. We're not starting from good. We're starting from injured. That's the state of the modern world. Like, it's all natural is great, but we're in a big hole,
Yes.
That's my point. So I want the thing that gets me back up to speed. And then, well, not and then. I do the natural stuff the whole time. It would be the ideal way to put it. But just heal yourself first. Like, sorry, we need to acknowledge the depth of the problem. Would be my point. And I'm sort of moving on here a little bit.
No, that's cool. Yeah, just go for it. Hell for leather. Don't just do free stuff. Go, just throw everything at it. And if it's value for money, which these products are, in terms of it's not pricey, it lasts a long time, but also it just gives you so much. Because we don't want. I've known many supplements that I've taken that don't do much. Even the magnesium supplements, the tablets. Often I don't feel a difference. Multivitamins, I rarely feel that much of a difference. This stuff, I feel a difference. Each one of the 2. I can't speak for the third one. You can, but 2. Like, yeah.
Well, you're talking about synergy, man. All 3 go together. They really support each other. And, Restore is really not zero in, even though both help the gut. So that's fascinating. Like, yeah, that's really interesting. So get excited. I know you have been excited. So good luck, my man. You mentioned the caffeine, how you can sleep at night. I just want to emphasize that. Like, if you can sleep at night, if you're sleeping better, there's something else going on here than just caffeine stimulation. The caffeine is for the synergy of the other products. It's a catalyst. That's what it is. Yeah, and these products are all nutraceuticals. That's what the company says, and that's important because supplements are, that word and that paradigm is based off of deficiencies, which I am moving rapidly away from thinking in terms of deficiencies, in large part thanks to urine therapy. Because I'm just looping and I'm getting so much what feels like the same kind of energy I would get from food. And like, I'm looping my own water. Like, where's the input of energy? It's just blowing my mind, man. Clearly it's not fucking about calories, and we've been massively lied to.
No, and coming on to that, is it about the water? Maybe the water. And let's get this in. Maybe it's the ones, bro. Maybe it's the ones. Dun, dun, dun. I got it, man.
Congratulations.
I tried it today. It's amazing.
If you don't break it, that's with you for life.
Saliva. And we keep this. Yeah. I won't break it. And if I do, then fuck it. It's cheap.
Yeah, dude.
For the value. Yeah.
Yeah. I stir everything with it. And
so what is that again? Let's talk about the can't pronounce it. That thing.
Analemma.
Analemma, which is in a Faraday cage. Is that correct? This is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That silver casing is a Faraday cage, but it's surprisingly stable. They have tried to destabilize it or destructure it through massive exposure to man-made electromagnetic fields, and it doesn't move.
Really? They tried to 5G it really bad, and it didn't do anything.
So I don't want to say something they didn't say. They didn't say that. but
No.
what they say is it's stable.
Stable. Yeah.
And they tried for years to make it that way,
Yeah.
and they failed for like tons of years, and then they figured out how to do it.
Oh, I
But
see. Yeah,
they
yeah.
haven't given me like the test of like, this is, we tried to abuse it this way and it didn't destructure,
No.
because
Yeah.
I think it's so hard to talk about what we mean by structuring.
Right.
How do you
Yes.
measure that? Well, the way they measure it,
Yeah.
the way they did for 12 years of
Yeah.
research and development,
Yeah.
it was actually 30 years of research and development, but from what I've gathered, they took 18 years to figure out how their method was going to work.
Mm.
And then they did 12 years of playing with the method. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
How many people behind this? This long? Is it just one guy? Or loads of
Oh
people?
no, it's a collection, but we got Dolph Santignier, who was there at like the inception point of some kind of artificial intelligence. He's written a book on data mining, and he's a data miner. That's a big deal for artificial intelligence. Obviously, AI like takes massive amounts of data and intelligently interprets it, and that's how you get AI. It's very simply put. I don't know much more than that really. But I'm sure that data mining is important for AI. So this data miner was like, oh crap, I just invented AI. It really helps that. That's gonna be misused, like the nuclear bombs were misused.
Yeah.
And I need to go do something good for humanity. And then he went and decided to start making Analemma.
We spent 20, 30 years trying to get this out, and now it's out recently, isn't it?
What a story. Yeah, he spent 30
Incredible.
years, man, of formal like research and development with the team. So more than 30 years.
That's blowing my mind. Something that looks so simple, and if it's just got, well, to the naysayer, and I've seen naysayers on Tom McCowan group, it's just water in here. It's all bullshit. But no, I think me and you have an understanding from aged urine that we talked about before, even fresh urine, in my opinion, that don't have to agree with me, but we do know fresh urine is structured water. Aged urine is uber superstructured water. You don't have to agree with me that's the main mechanism of action, or I still think it is. But then this is something that I feel like it's the same thing, Matt. It's like it structures, you just dabble it in, because you don't touch this either, it ruins it apparently, but you just swish it with anything for 20 seconds, and what does it do? Because it's so powerfully structured, anything that's in the field of it, the liquid, gets structured too. It's super powerfully.
I have one way I can tell on my tongue, like there's a thing that it does to the water.
Yeah.
But I want you to say it first. Like you got it today.
Yeah.
Can you tell the difference of like the water?
Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I tried it with some carbonated water crap with fulvic acid boo, and that's already powerful. But here's the problem. That's already powerful. However, I know what you're going to say, by the way, and I do believe it improves the taste. I just didn't notice it. But what I did notice when I took this is I think I messaged you. I had a delayed awesome response.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to give me an instant high. And what it did was, after about 10, 15, 20 minutes, I can't remember the exact time, but it was at least 10 minutes. I felt something come up in me like a volcano, which wasn't the boo fulvic acid because I know what that feels like. It does. That's good. It was actually this. So that was twice I took that drink, 2 or 3 times. So I'm gonna keep everyone posted on it. It seems to bubble up and come, like you said, later. Something really powerful.
Well,
and quickly as well, I pooed better than normal as well. So I think that's linked with it as well. Better poos.
I'll take all that. It's just there's so many variables,
Yes.
And I really want to be a good scientist. So all I can say for sure is that the water is smoother. It's very much smoother. So like it's the all bullshit crowd, why the hell is there this crazy, awesome, deep smoothness that I'm getting by stirring something with a...
And when you say smoother, what is it what are you drinking? Is it urine, or what kind of drink are you? Water? Distilled water? What are you drinking that makes it
smooth? Both. Definitely both. And it gets smoother in both, but the smoothness is like ×3 compared to the smoothness difference when I stir.
Really? So without the smooth, it's already smooth anyway. This liquid you use in the urine.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the difference between water and urine. So the Analemma works. The Analemma, the urine water works better with the Analemma than the normal water does.
Okay.
So like this, there's synergy between that amplifies both effects. So like, let's say I get,
Yeah.
3 degrees of improvement, or 1 degree of improvement when I stir my glass of water. I think it's like 3 or 4 degrees of improvement when I stir my urine.
I like that. So in other words, tap water stirring it will be okay, but not as good, obviously, as the more powerful the water you stir it with, the more you're going to magnify that amazing shit.
The urine has gone through a complicated natural process that structures water. That's the same theory of how to structure water that Analemma used. It has to be vastly complicated. It's got to be given time, and then water structures when and how it wants to. They found out, to their chagrin at Analemma, that you can't force water to be structured. And this is a good old fun controversial statement that I'm going to say right now.
Yeah.
Which I'm just parroting what the Analemma company said here, but I believe they're testing.
Yeah.
They tried the magnets, they tried the energy stuff. They tried, well, actually, it turned out like light and electromagnetic fields were the answer. But you can't just do one of these modalities, like one wavelength, and just it's going to really structure water. What most of that is going to do is like mildly structure but inform the water. So there's a lot of things that I think energize and give the water like good information. Like how water has memory. So there's a difference between structuring water and adding good memory content to the water. The structure of the water itself is like the quality of the memory function itself. It's like how good your brain is, not the quality of the thoughts. So let's say these what I would consider middling water structure methods do is, in my opinion, mostly just inform the water with good information. But that is miles away from
not to detour your flow too much, but I mean, like, how I liken it from what you're saying in my simple brain is like, we know that infrared light structures water, like the sunrise, sunset, or a red light machine. So putting that against water would structure it. But what I've noticed is, if you don't, it can't. Infrared light is the most common frequency of light that structures it the best. The water, normal water, urine, whatever. But when you take away that source, at that point, the water starts its process of becoming unstructured. It doesn't stay structured. Now we know that urine is very unique, because let's big up aged urine here, because the structure doesn't just stay, it magnifies and stays. So it gets uber super more structured in the theory that me and Matt agree upon. Maybe not the main mechanism, but it's definitely the reason.
Dude, this is how we really started talking, and I so fell in love with this conversation because you like put words to this. At least people weren't really talking about this as far as my limited scope of observation, and like that was huge. In my opinion, it was really
I think
cool.
we nailed it. I mean, I didn't come up with it. I mean, there was other people that were just quiet on Facebook and they didn't have any influence. And since I put it in the second book, and I'm going to write eventually next year, it's just too focused on the paid therapies, which I love so much, helping so many people. So I will go back to that next year, but definitely. So yeah, just to clarify, there is the aged urine, which even these guys wouldn't know about, which is uber super structured water to a degree. But then this is like replicating, and you're saying, and I agree with you, it's stabilizing a kind of aged. This is a way to look at it if you're into aged urine. It's got an aged urine effect to it permanently in this one. So anything that touches it, liquid, any liquid you touch with this, whether it be urine, carbonated water, tap water, you're just giving some of that memory structure to it. Like, it's weird to think about.
I'm trying to do too much at once here because there's so much synergy going on. I'm just like trying to prove one thing as best I can while also relating it to the aged urine structure. I really want to do that, but like it's obvious. Like people can connect the dots. Like structure is structure. So
and with this one, it lasts. Did you say forever? Like, I mean, it's got guarantee. It doesn't break. You just crystal glass. I mean, it's worth it, isn't it? We pay 200. Me and Matt affiliated. Contact us.
It's under 200, and the company says it lasts forever. Is their estimation? Because they don't know, but there's no signs of degradation even after like a decade with some of their older prototypes, and this stuff is better.
Yes.
So,
did you say before it took 1 year to make this? I mean, they think out process ages, but it takes 1 year to make one of these.
Yeah, sure does. Wow. And I think that relates to the fact that the zodiac is a year, and that a year is a year. So the analemma is the path of the sun makes in the sky over the course of a year if you photograph the sun at the same time of day. It makes this little curly Q8. And, there's a lot of astrology that goes with that. Like I'm born at the bottom of the Analemma because I'm born in late December. And then Cancer would be like the top. Aries is where it crosses over in the middle going up. And then whatever August 29th is when it comes back down. Like August 29th is the date that some church, probably Catholic and Christian, celebrate the beheading of John the Baptist, which is when the Analemma cuts its own head off. So it's like, oh shit, this Analemma thing might be important, culturally relevant throughout history. And so what's their claim if they're calling it Analemma? Well, it's that this water relates somehow to the full electromagnetic spectrum of the year, of the whole zodiac. So
did you come up with that, or did they say that, or give it hints at it, or is that you theorizing? I mean,
no,
I like it.
Well, they said something more scientific, but they did name it Analemma. But I'll tell you what they said. They said Analemma isn't like a singular thing. It is always changing. They literally said this. I remember them in their second interview. That Analemma is always changing with the energy of the cosmos.
Right. And when they're saying that, what? Okay, so I know you theorized from that, but when they're saying that, what are they trying to teach the audience by saying that particular? Do you know what I mean? What are they trying to...
I think it's they don't want to say too much regarding their proprietary process, and also they don't want people to overthink it. Just like Clayton doesn't want people to overthink it, because then people come up with fake problems and go like, "Oh, this is a problem." What my theory is, and like this, so what I'm saying is, this is all me right now, baby, is that every time we stir it, it's allowing the universe to the entire universe's energy to come in to the water, because again, it's the structure. So then if we massively improve the structure, we then form the Holy Grail, and God can fill it with the full spectrum of the universe at that point in time. And I'm very much into the I Ching and the present moment and the power that can be found now. And this relates. So if you have the structure right, you can contain the intensity of the present moment. So it's not that Analemma water is actually changing. It's not that. It's that the information, it just allows the entire information flow of the universe to be present in whatever water we stir it with.
Wow, that's incredible. In my simple brain, that has gone over the top a little bit, but I'm a flabbergasted overweight. The way I see it is, from a physical health point of view, is that the more structured the water is, the more deeper it goes within the cells of the body to clear out the toxins and the crap, and it becomes really nice tasting and pure. And it's like it's basically the opposite of ill health and health when you get your water the more structured. So the Analemma works with the urine. So if people buy it, they can use it, stir their urine with it. They can stir their tap water for other people. You don't even need to tell people. Maybe you can just go, oh look, stir your tea. Oh, mate, not tea actually, because that's a heat thing, but anything that's not hot, that's liquid, you can stir it. I mean, another thing with that is, I mean, I was thinking of buying another one under your link, but then I thought, fuck it. I mean, I've got one, so I can just take that one to everybody. I just want to give it as a present, and I'll buy another one. But at the moment, you can take your wand and use it for everybody. You don't worry about contamination. Like, here you go, take it with you, like a little traveling thing. Go, here you go, have some of this.
Stir your urine and stir somebody else's.
I mean, the way I see it, bro, is I don't think I'm ever gonna. I will buy another one, I'm sure, but I mean, this one I'm gonna use fucking forever. Like, this is the moment, man. This is a life-changing transformational tool that costs $200. That I'm gonna use every time I drink. I'm gonna stir. Like, what the fuck? Every time I drink something, you stir. Like,
it's a real gift, man, and it came out while the world is under this kind of stress. Like, same with Root. Some real amazing stuff from some very passionate people. Their entire mission is to help people. It's not to make a profit, really.
And that's why the price is good for the value that it delivers. Those both, the Root Trinity is fucking phenomenal value for what it delivers, and also the Analemma. By the way, let's transition quickly to another one that I think's kind of valuable. Where is it? It's gone down there.
I really wanted to relate to something you said. That's what you feel with structured water. What you feel is the toxins are flowing out and you feel better. So that's like the information is flowing better, which is one way to put it. So I keep harping on this point. We're improving the structure so the information that is naturally present works better. So in this way, we're not touching the information or content that is inherent in our urine. We're not changing the information in the urine. We're actually allowing it to flow better, which is exactly what aging it does. It just seems to amplify the effects of fresh.
You nailed it. Yes, and we know that fresh urine is always structured. Don't matter the individual as long as they're alive. But I've said this before: the iller someone is, the more less structured their urine's going to be.
Oh wow!
And then the more healthy they are, the more. So then, like the Analemma, this is like just. We need all the tools that we can get to take us to the highest vibration we were once, because we're now so toxic, and our bodies, even mine and your fresh urine, compared to what it could be, because the toxic vibration is just not up to the scratch. I mean, it's very good compared to someone else, but it's not up to scratch to what it would have been. So we can use these tools. We've got to, man. We've got to start using these tools to get back to the highest vibration.
Thank you for saying that point, because that's something that I brought up earlier. Like, that's my perspective, is we need all the help we can get, and it's go time, man. We got the good shit.
Right, check this out then. So yeah, thanks to you, I will shout out, because last time we did an interview, we was talking about Somavedic. You bigged it up, and because of you, I went and bought this, and it's not cheap, guys. It costs $800. So yeah, you need some money to buy it. But I'll tell you what, since I've had it, bro, and if you've seen my lives on YouTube, everyone, the fucking sleep, my parents. With that, so it's been transforming my parents' sleep so much, and they can't even sleep at night because they don't need less sleep, that I went and bought another one, the Ruby one, which I consulted with you with, and we'll talk about in a bit. But today even, and this is day 3 of the Ruby, day 9 of the Somavedic. So day 3 Ruby, night sleep. My mum again today said, what have you done? Because I couldn't sleep again this morning. I woke up at 6, didn't need any sleep. So this is ongoing with my mum, I'm noticing. This is absolutely true. It's Somavedic. It's nothing else that I put in here. There's 2 Somavedics now, literally transforming my parents' sleep. And there are 3 or 4 meters, 5 meters over that side. Amazing. Just one of them was, now both of them are.
Unfortunately, that's the best evidence we have for it, isn't it? Is how it can fuck somebody up for the short term.
Yeah. And me, I'm sleeping different too. My sleep patterns have changed a lot. I do a lot of things to change my sleep patterns a little bit, but this Soma's really the green, and then the Ruby is just taken to a ridiculous level. But just the green, bro, I mean, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
That's fantastic to hear, man. Especially because, I'm coming from like a paid perspective, which is mostly failures because it was all supplementation.
Right, bullshit supplementation at the beginning. Yeah, loads of that.
Made me. That's why like my mind is being blown so much right now, is because like, there's stuff that actually works.
Yeah, look at that. So you came from the bullshit paid to the actual quality paid. I came from the free to a little bit of the bullshit paid, and now we're meeting in the middle. We're both on the same journey, but just different things. Like, Jesus.
I did a lot of bullshit paid, guys. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, well, go on, name them then. Name some bullshit paid.
All the supplements. Like,
all of them. Yeah. Give me examples.
I mean, the highest quality ones I can name off the top of my head, like these are some I still have some respect for, like MSM. But I tried all the different kinds of magnesium, and really they all just come right out in the urine, except kind of, and like, they kind of get me wired in a way. They don't really help me relax. The one that ended up coming out and is just blowing out the magnesium space, which is Magnesium Breakthrough.
Okay, is that a rub one? Is that a spray?
It's a pill, but they have like 7 kinds of magnesium in it. And this speaks to the problem with a lot of supplementation, is it's just one of something. It's not in its natural context in a food. Yes. So like vitamin C never really did anything for me, but now it's in Cleanslate and it's like synergizing, and I helping, Yep. I can't isolate it from the rest of Cleanslate. So, I ended up getting on powders because I was trying to do the B vitamins. Yep. They would just come out in my urine, and it was like kind of whatever.
You mean the yellow fluorescent urines?
Yeah.
Those things, yeah.
I had vertigo after I got the swine flu vaccine. I got fucking crazy vertigo and pneumonia, and was thoroughly traumatized. It was hell, really painful, actually, and bad pneumonia. Lung shit from vaccines,
Yeah.
And I'm now looking back, it's like the timeline for that reaction was clearly vaccine related. Just my understanding now, which really sucks, it really sucks. But it helps me make sense of things and process that whole bullshit. But they put me on, like, all they had for me was some like riboflavin, which is a B supplement, and that never did anything for me either. That's what the freaking neurologist gave me. We had an expensive neurologist after a really bad injury or a sickness.
Jesus, man. Yeah, I mean, even if you're going to put them on something, at least try niacin. I've heard better results from niacin one. The niacin flush that makes more profound and
yeah, I tried that. And yeah, you get like kind of a flush, and that helps bring you into the present moment a little bit. Not the flush, but like it opens the blood vessels. But that's a systemic effect, you know. That like it's more like a nutraceutical than a supplement.
Yeah.
And you know, so then I started taking B vitamins in the form of yeast, but non-fortified yeast. So let's see, I was taking vitamin, all right, I took zinc for a little while to improve my immunity, but no, I wasn't really getting sick, so I didn't really feel anything.
Yeah.
Vitamin C was a failure. These individual vitamin Bs were.
Did you try vitamin D tablets?
Yeah, I did, and they would always wake me up in like a. No, that's kind of like a sunshine thing, but then I realized it was also a bit of a stressor.
Right. Do you take a lot of them or just a small amount? I've heard there's a huge difference.
There is a huge difference, and I did both. And the small amount, I felt nothing, but I was like, still might help, and I'm sure it does for most people. But yeah, the opinion. So I hope I listed enough because I made the claim I bought all these supplements, but I was trying to do it with intelligence. So I wasn't doing the stuff that obviously doesn't work. I was trying to find as much integrated, you know, nutrition supplementation. But I never found, you know, miracles. I never was really gaining more body consciousness, for instance. You know, I was never, you know, it just kind of helped with stress, and maybe it was a hobby. Nothing amazing. And like that's you know, I failed into the really good supplements. So I just failed hard. I really tried to find something. I didn't give up.
Yeah, exactly. You're very much like me. I mean, this is why I bonded you so much. Not only beyond the most powerful protocols, in my opinion. And by the way, me and you are probably going to find something else more amazing. I'll hook you up, you hook me up, and we'll find from other people because we're always learning. But with the thing of us is we actually experiment. We know our body feel. I know when the clean slate is doing shit. I can feel it in my system. I can feel the zero in my head. I can feel the Analemma one today. I can feel the Somavedic. I can feel the power shift. But the things that you were talking about are crap. The supplements, I take them too sometimes. The multivitamins, a lot of them, you just don't feel them. And you just go on logic and say, it is okay. I do need this. But you want something that you really feel, man. That's as well as the logic of, you know, you're putting out heavy metals, glyphosate, and all the really bad shit. You want something that you really get, like the true alpha male. Like Sandy says with the clean slate, the true self comes through. I feel it when I'm on clean slate. I feel my clarity of thought so much more. I feel my alpha male, my best self so much more on these things than. And now, like my room, like yours, is like a vibrator. I've got 2 somas. I've got the EMF rocks. I've got the 5G BioShield that Sandy told me to buy, the Blue Shield as well plugged in. I mean, we're creating here, man. We're creating a sanctuary.
Quality difference between your experience, like qualitatively different. And science is all about quantifying shit, otherwise it's not real. And what we're talking about is we have all these great qualities in our lives now. So that's one reason why it's hard to prove, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but even the Somavedic and that stuff and all these things, they can prove in the water changes. So they do befores and after the Somavetics. The WaterStructuring they prove with the Somavetics. The BioShield, all the things we've got, there is proof out there. The clean slate, the HRV going down 30 years to 0. You know what I mean? They are,
well,
but they're just
actually like a godsend to this thing, because that is quantifiable in like the traditional sense. Like you can get a number and measure it. But like structured water, you know, very difficult to measure. You actually have to like water plants and measure like the biophoton emission from those plants. That's actually like one of the best things you can do to measure structured water. And it's how they did it with Analemma, is they kept watering these seeds and tested the biophoton output because there was no other way for them to measure it.
Right, fascinating.
Yeah, like, you know, I think this measurement issue is actually worse than it sounds, because we so often as humans, like, you know, we can clearly tell a difference, but that's all in the realm of quality, you know. It's
bro,
really,
while you're talking there, I just had a thought that's kind of interesting. So here's just between me and you, this is a moment perhaps of maybe we're going to pattern this. Check this out. So imagine if this, right, we created the glass and shit, but we just put urine, fresh urine here, which we know is going to age even within a contained vessel. Dude, what the fuck? What the fuck? And actually, we've got now an aged urine wand. I'm not even kidding. Mate, this has got to happen now. Someone's gonna, you get this same glass material, but we don't need to do any technical 30 years on this. We just need to pee in it. We need to pee in it. It's going to age by itself. We can put it on the sun too to age it faster, but it's going to age anyway. We don't even need to worry about that. We leave the Faraday cage shield. Oh my God. an age urine stirrer. What the fuck?
We
Genius, bro.
have very similar qualities for sure to the Analemma one. One is that it doesn't destructure. You said this a long time ago. You can put the aged urine next to the 5G tower, and it's
it
extremely
won't.
resistant. It won't
Well
deconstruct.
remembered. Yeah.
So
That's the power what we're
like,
dealing with. So that's actually, oh my god, mate. I think we've at this. No, I'm serious. We have got to find the technicalities. This could be a moment where we just started a massive project. I'm talking 10, 20 years. I'm not talking tomorrow. I'm not an idiot, but man, that is a genius idea. I don't know why I hadn't thought of this before. Like,
I mean,
we could actually experiment with that. We could create something, can't we? Really easily, me and you. Couldn't we? Like a wand like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be personalized, and it's going to have more information than it's going to impart information, I believe, because there's so much information in urine. And I think the idea with Analemma, I'm just being very, devil's advocate and nitpicky here, because in general, you have a very, solid idea here. Like, what's wrong with it, really?
No, poke the holes in it, though. I mean, I think the Analemma might be more powerful still.
Well, I just don't want to say like we have something identical. I just want to say, well, this is what would make it unique, but the same concept should absolutely work. So we have deeply structured water on both counts for sure.
Yeah.
We just have like more information in the urine one. So we might get more of a programming effect from the aged urine stirring than like a whatever the universal energies now come into this perfectly open structure.
I see.
That's more like Analemma. But pick a good day. Like, let's say, you've got your like morning fasted birthday. Again, thinking about the energies of the universe, right? Birthday urine, and age that in a crystal glass Faraday periodically exposed to the sun. The bottom line is that the water needed to go through to make Analemma an extensive natural process in order to structure it, because it doesn't want to be messed around with. You can't tell water what to do. And so basically the best structured water in nature outside of our own urine, which is hard to find, I bet, is water that's gone through the cycle a bunch of times, hasn't been polluted, maybe spent a couple thousand years underground and then bubbled up, got drunk by some, wonderful person, thousands and thousands of years ago, got peed out and then evaporated back into the sky. And you do that again for another millennia. And then you got this.
Then you got this. That's what it is. That's what it is,
man. But that's the idea behind what structures water, is everything contributes, and it's a big process. And so we find that same kind of logic in urine. It's literally made of our entire body's matrix.
Our entire body that's fucking amazingly built by creators of some kind of beings that we can't name, but amazing, have created this body structure, and the fluid, which we're 99% probably, is like coming out and in, and it's definitely not a waste, and we can re-ingest it and feel amazing. Yeah, fuck, why not? And it's free, why not, man? And with a clean slate too, done.
You need to find the manufacturing process. That's a really good idea, man.
Yeah, like, it is. We'll get on with it, man.
It's just your piss. It's not. This is sort of the idea I wanted.
We'll market this, and we'll call it the aged urine ones, not the Analemma ones. We'll call it the aged urine ones. And actually, when this does happen, and it will happen, man, now that we put it out there, and I'm sure other people have thought of this before, to be honest with you, but we've got a capabilities. Like, we'll put I'd love to test it out, the aged urine ones, like a couple of years old versus this, and I'd love. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to test them out. I think that's what might win, to be honest with you. I'll be honest.
You would measure it by doing biofiltration tests.
I mean, even just in terms of body feel for me and you on a very simplistic scale, like just because we'll know which is more powerful. We'll know that there'll be a difference. So yeah.
Well, if the Analemma people like your idea, they'll run their tests on it.
Yeah, bro. Can I ask you anything else that you're excited about at the moment? With your health protocols that are off from all that we covered so far. Hey, what's going on?
I want to take one last second to go back to Soma Vedic.
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Trusting me on that one. And it's just been so fun to watch you get so excited.
Yeah, because it's 800. I mean, and it's a big deal for us. Like, that's a lot of money to spend on something. But by the way, not really, because if you consider that it's got a 5-year guarantee, and it probably lasts, from what I've heard from people, 8-10 years, and it's still going. Like, I've heard this. It actually works out really cheap. Like, you just put it on 24/7. It's on 24/7. You don't need to switch it off. You just plug it in with a very little electricity being used. Protects you from EMFs, raises your vibration, whatever level your detox you're at or health, it just takes you to the next level. It's some background. And by the way, Matt, I love looking at it at night. I think it's so beautiful to look at. It's not the reason why I bought it, but it looks so beautiful to look at, both of them.
No, I'm staying here. I put a mask over my eyes and I got every part of my body covered except my jaw.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the EMF beanie. So like, that's enough blackout for me. I used to be more sensitive, but I'm not anymore. It's detoxing. And yeah, it's freaking beautiful at night, man. Like I got my red light glasses on and I do all that so I can keep it shining in my room because it's
Yeah.
just fantastic.
The funny thing with that is I don't even care anymore about the blue light and the green. So looking at a green Somavedic because it looks so beautiful, I really don't give a shit. And it's so powerful, basically more powerful than maybe me looking at something that's not supposed to be the right color. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't really care. Like, it's so beautiful to look at.
Yeah, man. Like if you feel good, like you're doing plenty for your health. It's just like that was one thing that biohackers got their paws on really tight because it's measurable and it helps. And there's not a lot in like the quantitative mind and the normal science like without like information and like quantum and all this weird shit that we're dealing with. In sort of the old mind of the biohackers, that's like one of the major things they had. That kind of like,
The blue light at night, yeah, it
right,
is. I do think it does affect. But then, what if the Somavedic's more powerful than the looking at blue light at night? Dare I suggest, and might be wrong. God, you know
yeah,
what
I
I
mean,
mean?
if some Vedic improves your like overall everything functions so that your body's more in line with your circadian rhythm, it would just be about circadian rhythm mismatch, and I think that's absolutely possible. Like for
Yeah.
example, some Vedic is disrupting people's sleep initially.
Yep.
Um,
As we've proven with my
know,
parents and
it's
me.
probably improving sleep over the long term when you get over the detox symptoms like every other detox.
Did you hear? I think I told you. You might have forgotten. So I got an email from Sandy about Somavedic. It's got a radius of 30 meters in all directions, but actually the makers say that actually it has an effect beyond the 30 meters, which I believe to be true.
Yeah, on their website, it's like something like 2,600 feet.
Oh, I didn't know that. What's that in meters then, Matt?
Divide that by 3.
Oh God. What? Really?
Like 900 or
meters?
Feet, yeah.
What?
Let me check the website.
Yes.
Because they were like
have a look.
2,000. Yeah, real quick, everybody.
Yeah, no, we're informal and formal at the same time. This is just a chat. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, the EMF rocks are like, yeah, dude, literally creating a coherent field.
I love the EMF rocks, by the way. They fucking rule. Dr. Cowan fucking rules, man. His promotion of the Analemma wand and the EMF rocks is sick.
Yeah, Cowan, like, with the EMF field, he like, I think puts a lot of thought into it because he's going ahead and telling people that it's an issue. And so he's not going to tell people that and leave them empty-handed.
Yeah, and I feel you, by the way, with the fact that he's got loads in his shop, but he actually only promotes those two, really, the EMF rocks and the thing.
I'm glad you called me on that because, like, yeah, he does have a lot of stuff in his shop, but that's what I mean. Like, he doesn't talk about a lot of stuff outside of his shop, like a separate company, and usually all the stuff in his shop is actually like really whole supplementation, like the best version of supplementation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like him a lot, and I've read all of his books. I really recommend all of his books. Actually, they're all wonderful, easy, short reads that totally.
They are. Yeah, a sign of a good teacher to me is someone that can explain it simply, like we can and Dr. Cowan can. Whereas, not to dig too much, and don't worry, Fabian won't watch this, but bless his heart, as you've seen, Matt, Fabian can't explain things simply. It has to be all complicated in the way he says things, which, by the way, isn't just my criticism of him, it's other people's criticism of him. They say, oh, we like Fabian, but he's just too complicated and he can't explain it like a baby. So therefore, do you really know your shit if you can't explain it like a baby? And then Einstein says, if you can't explain it to like a 4-year-old, do you really know your shit?
Yeah, I generally agree with that, and I hope I'm not too simplistic on the other side of it. That's why I think I really like to say these generalized points very clearly of like, this is actually as much reasoning as we need.
Yeah.
And this is as much reasoning as we can gather because we're dealing with very hard stuff that's hard to nail down because it's so based in qualities as opposed to quantifiable quantities. And then we're dealing with structure as opposed to content, and literally like both of those things are like no go for normal science. And my general vibe is like, let's mix the qualities of rigor and the qualities of like being honest with ourselves and our feelings. And so I really appreciate people like Fabian, and he probably has major insights.
He does. Yes, phenomenal, ingenious in a way.
He went down that rabbit hole. Because he's went down that rabbit hole. But yeah, ultimately, like some of the simple shit is like more powerful. I gotta say,
definitely, man. Yeah, I agree. By the way, how many meters was the 206,000 feet thing?
28,000 feet.
Yeah.
For a green medic.
Yeah.
Coherent field. This is right off their website. Sungazing is designed on the principle of controlled release of energy from precious and semi-precious stones, creating a coherent field covering more than 28,000 plus square feet, which, let's round that up to 3,000 and divide it by 3. That's almost 1,000 meters.
What? That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. So that means all the neighbors on that side of across the road are easily getting my field quite, I mean, obviously we know that the Soma is like much more power. The further away you get from it, the weaker the field. But just, I mean, like, that's why I put it right next to my head if I can. But I mean, Jesus, 1,000 meters down that end. That's in all directions.
Well, this is actually a really important point, and I don't want to launch a whole new conversation, so maybe this can be a nice button.
Yeah.
We're influenced by massive changes in the cosmos and the sun's energy and large-scale, subtle energy all the time throughout our lives. The investigation of astrology and the zodiac's influence on our lives, and like our deepest parts of our psyche, this is, speaks to this. And, long-term subtle energy has a huge impact on our lives and we don't perceive it.
Right.
We don't perceive in general, almost 8 billion of people on Earth don't give a crap by far, or really understand the depth of the zodiac, because it's so hard to put our finger on and so hard to feel. But it's real. It really impacts your life. So what I'm saying is I think we're in a cosmic scope, like long-term, deep scope. We're affecting 3,000 feet or 3,000 feet, or
the Soma Vedic is affecting easily within that 1,000 meter range, and people's vibrationally, even if they don't feel it subtly, it's like it's having an effect on them for sure. Like not a major detox reaction, but some kind of subtle detoxification going on for them because of that presence of that 800-pound thing. So that makes me think, damn, it's not just for my parents, it's for the whole neighbors over there, 1,000 meters in all directions. How kind are we? By the way, that's called charity. That's called love. That's called they don't have to drink their PMAT. That's called they don't even have to drop the Cleanslate on them. The neighbors and people we don't even know that we never talk to even. That's called love. That's called Soma love. That's called Soma love, bro. That's what I mean when I said Soma love to you. I figured it out.
That's a great phrase. Yeah, you figured it out. You did.
And I've got 2, so that means I get double. We don't know whether they amplify correct, like the EMF rocks, like some kind of, but I think 2 is good, man. Oh, can I just go back quickly to my theory?
Yeah.
Which I think I told you before, but I think the audience hasn't. So we got the green one. We got the green one's the most popular one. And I reckon they've done it on purpose because it's a mix of Eastern and Western medicine. This magnet focuses on the green chakra. That's why they made it green. The red one, which I've got at the bottom here, I reckon the ruby one, which is almost the same price, different model, is for the red chakra. And they've got one for the men, the cobalt one called the blue. That's for the throat. So I think that one definitely works the heart. That opens up the heart chakra the most. The red one opens up the root. The blue one opens up I think done on purpose. What do you reckon on that?
What flows through the heart? Maybe water, blood. What's the green one supposed to do?
Oh, whoa! And look at that. This ties in with Dr. Cowan and what me and you believe, that the heart is the vortexer of the water. The heart is the oh, look at that. The heart structures the water. This one specially, the smaller ones don't. This one does structure the water, doesn't it? Oh, we just connect the dots. Heart chakra, heart.
Yeah, you can tell something's going on when dots connect, right?
Yeah, that's so true. The heart is definitely the vortex. So I'm totally with you. And Karen, you brought me my attention to that, because the movement of the water, the kidneys distill the water. The heart causes the vortexing of the water. It's the internal vortex that as long as the heart beating, you're alive. And that's true. As long as the heart beats, then you've got the structured water. As soon as the heart stops beating, the water stops structuring, and then you die. Boof.
And it is actually in that order. It's not because it's a pump. It's because the water is structured that the water can move through the vessels, which is a huge statement.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is. Yep. Yeah, exactly. My God, it's phenomenal. I love all these therapies, man. I can't wait for me to get even more, because I know what we know now is the tip, and I know there's going to be humans coming back 5-10 years down. They're going to invent something crazy that we're going to try, and me and you are going to be like, "Have you bought this?" And you'll be like, "Oh, it only costs 1,500, Harry." And I'll be like, "Yeah, fuck it, it's 1,500. I've got 20,000 in the bank. It's all good. We'll buy this shit."
I'm not sure, and here's why. Because I think we've hit just about the depths of water structure with these techniques. And
you do you? You think the pinnacle?
Well, because it's all context dependent. Like that's where the real medicine and the real genius of it comes in terms of how its effect on our body.
Hmm,
The information is relevant to our body. That's why urine therapy works so well. It's because it's information that's relevant to our body. It's
yeah.
not just like the
Oh, yeah.
highest vibration possible is the best. That's not the case.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
got zapped by God, you'd go insane. And people do go insane because they take this or that drug and they get zapped too hard, basically,
Yeah.
by too high quality vibe information, and their structure, their cup isn't quality enough to hold
Oh, like
back.
when you freak out on psychedelics because you've taken
Yeah,
it way too
that's
much
what
out
I'm
of your
talking about.
vibration field, like
Yeah,
too
so
far.
like the aliens could give us a really good psychedelic, but that doesn't mean we can contain it.
Mm. Yeah, really good point. Yeah, this is important to emphasize.
So
Yeah.
this tech of urine plus analemma is giving us our information
Yeah.
via urine.
Yeah.
That's relevant for us and where we're at.
I like that. It's making me
Uh,
smile because I can't think. Honestly, if we was to count how many people on the planet are doing Analemma and urine, I can't think of many, man. Even if we could, do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm the
yeah, I
first.
think
I'm
you're.
the fucking
I'm
first.
actually
It's
think
a
you are.
genius thing, and I'm the first. Oh, I'm freaking so excited about that, man. I like. Am I more excited that I'm not dying looping my clean slate urine, or am I more excited that I analemmed my urine?
Yeah.
That
I wonder.
that's not a
What?
fair question, but honestly, I'm more excited
Yeah.
that I'm stirring the urine with the analemma. It's
Hey, I
just
wonder what happens if you stir 24/7 the fresh urine with Analemma for like a couple of hours. Would it become aged urine like 7 days old or something? Like, I wonder if that would
That's
happen.
a good question, and I guess I've sort of settled in on just a practical answer because the company's like,
Mm.
I think it's 60 seconds of stirring for a half gallon,
Yeah.
um, which isn't so much. So that's a decent amount of stirring. You have to stir for a little bit at least. Like let's say a cup, you want to do like 20 seconds or 15 seconds.
Yep.
Um, Although on the other hand, it might be 60 seconds for a gallon. So
I think so. Yeah, 6 seconds per gallon, and I did it. I
uh,
just make sure I just do it for 60 seconds anyway, if it's small or big, and then
yeah,
you can
yeah,
guarantee the results.
yeah.
So that's cool.
And they're like, that's all you need. That's what they say from what I know. Everything the company has said is on their Vimeo. Just go to
Right.
Analemma Vimeo, and I'll share that link with you. It's not much. They haven't
No,
done
and Matt's affiliated with it too, so use his link. I'm affiliated with it too. Just message one of us, and we'll sort you out. And it's worth it, man. At the end of the day, it's something that me and you. I'm not going to stop using it. Why would I? If it lasts forever, and I've got water that I'm always drinking, urine or other stuff. Why would I stop doing that? It's powerful. I'm only day one. You're on day what, 1 month and a half on it now.
I think what you can do to amplify the Analemma water is add more content improving stuff to
Right.
the water because the Analemma is like gonna fully structure your water in like 60 seconds. And I think that's the case. And then all you can do to improve it is just keep improving the content. And guess
Yeah.
what? It'll be more open to the content. So do the Analemma one before you add content like your precious stones and energy devices.
Right.
Like the urine in the water is absorbing the Soma Vedic better because I've started with Analemma, right?
Right. Yeah.
Then put it in the sun.
Jesus,
Then
what a
age.
combo! Soma and Analemma urine in the sun. Jesus Christ, that's multi fucking higher biohacking on extreme levels.
Yeah, but like this gets back to my point of its structure. It's not content. I freaking say that all the time. So
Yeah,
it's not just like we're adding another thing to the urine. This can potentiate all the things we add to the urine, all the things we add to our water, because
definitely,
it's
man.
opening the receptivity of the water to anything that we.
Yeah, right. I don't want to switch up too much. Before we go, I'm going to open up a little bit of controversy
Funny.
for the audience, and you're going to be surprised because I thought I'd do this today. Maybe I got synchronicity
I
to
thought
talk
we had
about this
enough
with you.
controversy.
Yeah, so we're going to really throw the fire in now. This is the nail
Yeah.
in the coffin for anyone that likes us or doesn't like us. Here we go. So, can you see that?
Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah.
Right. So I take these on and off, but this is one thing that proves to me that salt is not bad for you. So let's open up the can of worms and talk about salt then, man. Is salt bad for you? Right.
Well, a lot of salt is for obvious and not obvious reasons. Obvious would be it's like fluoridated and like got all this shit they add to it, like table salts at a restaurant is actively poisonous.
Mm.
And then most salt is like just sodium chloride, which is not good. All natural salt is in context with its other trace minerals. If you're doing urine therapy, maybe it's not helpful to take more salt because the body is so tightly regulating it and you don't actually need to add more to the system. That's very possible if you're really doing urine therapy.
Mm.
Uh, or if you're like a breatharian, the body's own regulation system. But my theory is that the more toxic we are and the more dependent on food we can benefit from supplementation,
Mm.
um, which is kind of
We can benefit from the Quinton water, which is fucking fabulous, by the way, bro, which is Rene Quinton's discovery that seawater, which is some kind of special seawater. It's not just normal seawater. It's under the ground, under the water at certain vortexes, pulled at 10 meters, 20 meters up. But whenever I take this, I feel amazing. I'm not gonna lie. And I know it's legit and it's salty, just like Cleanslate salty is made out. Cleanslate is seawater a little bit and you can taste it. This one tastes very salty and beautiful, but I get high every time it's a nutrient dense, but it's also the salt, man. It's the salt, not table salt. Sea salt. It's sea salt, natural sea salt. It's amazing.
I'm in a place of loving salt, and so I wanted to preface it here's all the ways that salt isn't necessary. That's literally what I decided to start with. But basically, of loving salt, I got this Baja Gold.
You got the Baja. I still haven't bought that. I've been procrastinating. I should get that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I've definitely gone from anti-salt, like everyone else in the free therapy community, to actually, it's not a bad thing because of my own experiences with Quinton water and Cleanslate. They got me on it.
Yep. It's really
the Baja salt. Yeah.
And what do you feel? Probably sort of a more alert and
both of them are good. Yeah, but that one I haven't tried. I'm going to try that because I do believe now that we got it completely wrong about salt. I don't believe it. I know it in my heart, but you don't have to believe that if you're watching this. That's cool, but it's good to me, like in small doses. Maybe you can overdose on it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there is such things.
Yeah, I think your body can amplify it if you give a small amount when you're a bit fasted. It really uses it efficiently. Sort of the more you take, the less efficient the use.
Yes.
So that, having said all that, yeah, I think a little bit of, especially because people are so mineral deficient nowadays because of the diet, and this is more mainstream, but this is very true. Diet is so deficient in minerals because we've depleted the fuck out of our soil, man. Our food is so not nutritious anymore because we have nothing in the soil because we just keep farming and farming and farming the soil and don't know how to replenish it. We have no, microbiome in the soil, pooping out nutrients into the soil anymore and being absorbed by the plants. So we get, our food has turned bland in the last 100 years because there's no minerals. Really tasty, you know what I mean?
Yeah, tasty and full of minerals, exactly.
If this was in the soil, my food would taste amazing because this tastes amazing.
Okay, I'm going to buy some after this, definitely 100%, and get back to you. On the bar trip.
I tried Quinton because there's such a history with that. It's in Cowan's books.
Cowan promotes it. Oh well, there we go.
Yeah,
I'm sold already.
Actually, a huge fan.
Is he?
He's a ginormous fan of Quinton. I thought that's where you got it from, because you were reading his book.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Baja salt. Whoa, of course, Quinton water.
Oh,
yeah.
the Quinton. Yeah,
I was getting excited then. I'm getting the Baja salt. I was like, Cowan's promoted Baja salt. Okay.
No.
Yeah, this one, man. He takes it every day, doesn't he, or something? Yeah, that's the reason why I bought it. Actually, I bought it because of you, basically, because. I got both his books. I only read the water one. I saw this one, and I was like, Rene Quinton, what a legend! Died in France in 1925, a legend, and only the French seem to know about him. And tried this out, and then as soon as I tried it, from the moment I tried it, I was like, I didn't placebo it. I was like, fuck, this feels amazing. It's legit. This is power shit. You just break the capsule one end. I'll demo it, man.
Yeah.
I'll take some now. Take some now on the fucking. I love it. It's really good. And I put it on my skin. It darkens my skin.
So it's naturally
salty as fuck, man. It tastes like the sea would taste, but wow, it's an energy high. It's amazing. That's why I know now, Matt, that if I went to the sea, I wouldn't be like, I don't mind swallowing the seawater, man. This tastes like it.
Depends on where you are, bro.
True. Yeah, that's
come on, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really sacred site. It must be. It's just such a shame how polluted everything is. Yeah. But basically, the idea is nature heals,
Yeah. Is there anything in the you're excited with at the moment that you're working on that we haven't talked about? Like any little protocols and health and stuff, all the little gadgets.
Because last time you asked, I derailed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm majorly cutting down on my food, and I really credit the really amazing water that I'm drinking, which is Cleanslate, Urine, Analemma water.
Right.
with making me capable of doing that. So what I'm trying to do is honestly say that because I'm putting Cleanslate in my water in part,
Yeah.
it's actually helping cut down on my food intake. So not only is it not poisoning me, it's helping me. And this is one quantifiable way that it's helping me is I'm able to, while I do this more and more, cut down on my food intake, which is true. I'm doing all this other stuff, but I really think it's a major factor, adding the Cleanslate and the Analemma, but adding the Cleanslate.
You mean get the poisons out and all of a sudden your cravings, maybe the parasites,
exactly.
The parasites are going down.
Which is what they say at Root. It's like, make sure to eat because, this stuff is going to clear you out so good and make your energy and everything so efficient. That's true. And in the urine therapy community, there's an interest in cutting down on food, and I'm part of that in my mind. And
by the way, quickly with the urine, I was just thinking the fresh urine, if we are deficient and we do produce our own minerals, but even the minerals that we produce and the vitamins isn't maximal because of the deficiency within the environment, there's a limited capacity for our body to produce the vitamins and minerals it did. That means the urine is not bad, but it won't have the maximal amount. And that's another argument for true supplementation with power minerals, maybe like in the Restore and all that stuff. Just like those will come out. Do you know what I mean? Like because there's deficiency of minerals and we're eating foods that don't contain them, and the urine does ingest them, that's cool. But what about if you had a supplement that magnified it times 10, times 20 amounts? You could, do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
Well, it's the exact same mystery as how there can be breatharians. Most people stop eating and they die.
Right. Yeah.
So then what the hell is going on with the breatharian? Well, they've gradually did, and their body's adapted. So, it's probably helpful for people who need to eat, It's like cutting people off of heroin, It's like, it's almost worse. I don't know what I'm talking about really, but like, no food is death. So it's like, maybe death is almost worse than a heroin withdrawal, right?
Yeah.
So, we're talking about major physiological differences here, and
I do love the fact that the Cleanslate is making you eat less food, and it's really the Analemma Cleanslate and the urine and everything that you're doing is just throwing everything free and paid at your health, your higher health, your highest vibration, which is you're just on point, man. I could tell from your skin and the way you're wearing.
Thanks. I'm like majorly like feeling stuff right now because like I'm really hitting stride with the less food right now. I'm finally feeling a groove with it, and I actually got myself down, and I feel like I'm at cruising altitude now, which is a big deal for me. And that means like 9 dates and 1 juiced pineapple a day.
Is that it?
That's it.
Whoa, that's incredible. How the fuck are you just eating that and being okay?
I've been there for like a half month.
Whoa.
Which is actually a little overstatement. So
nothing else an entire day apart from those.
No, that's an overstatement. I haven't been that.
Yeah. Oh, that's honest.
Like like a little.
Yeah. Well, we have a tendency to exaggerate sometimes, and that's okay. But you call yourself out on that. So, and I do sometimes too.
Like this is what I'm ready to do. So I finally feel ready, and I've been doing it for like a week, a little over a week of just like this, maybe 9 to 12 dates. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's scary and I'm over exaggerating, but basically this is happening. And like, as of like this week, I'm just doing like, I was doing 12 dates and 2 pineapples. And like, as of today, I'm 9 dates and 1 pineapple. And I have no desire to go less than that.
Amazing. Yeah, you're like in fasting mode. You're in fasting. They're coming in and it's just digesting really quick, that stuff. And yeah, basically in fasting mode, full on. And vibrating high with the amulet water. Because the water will keep you going. I agree with you. The water is the 99, according to this, the 99% that we're made out of water. On the back of this it says, yeah, we're made out of water. So when you maximize the water, the food becomes a little bit irrelevant or more irrelevant than what you thought it did. That's
what I can claim for sure. So I'm doing this massive experiment on myself and claiming that this support system is the reason why I'm able to do it. And that's really important for me. Because I want to be able to put something behind these claims. But it's also what I want to do with my life, so no worries. Like, doing this for other people. But I kind of want to tell people, like, I'm doing it, and look, this is how I can do it. And then I'll be super honest with my results, I swear.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And keep us let us know on the results. I've really enjoyed this interview, man. It's been fabulous. We've gone all over the place, as promised. We brought some controversy on the salt. We've told you how it is with the protocols that me and Matt are on. We'll give you the link under the bottom for description for Matt's affiliates on the Analemma ones and other stuff too. The Soma. You've affiliated with the Soma quickly. You should affiliate with it.
Yeah, it's actually on my website.
Oh, there we go. So that's all sorted. And then I don't know if you want to end with a music song. You can say no, but
Oh, you know, it's been a long interview, and I'm really tired of it.
yeah,
You
of
know,
course, man.
thanks for watching this long, everybody.
No, that's all
And
right. I appreciate you,
yeah.
man. Thanks for watching, everybody. This was Harry with Matt Sena, man.